What's good, Ravens fans? Today we're going to react to John Harbaugh's presser. Let's get it.
As the cut down happens tomorrow at 4 o'clock, what are kind of the discussions like from now to then, and how you balance to try to get to the future?
Right. Well, you know what? Most of it's been discussed. We have a plan already. We've started putting it into effect. There's a lot of considerations: position value, special teams value, also practice squad value, strategy. Eric and his guys got to look at strategy in terms of.
Sorry about that. I don't know why the camera shook like that.
Who might get claimed or not get claimed, or where we are with health in certain positions. I mean, those are all considerations that have to be made. So we'll probably take our time through until tomorrow to wrap it all up, and then probably, honestly, after the next couple of days after that, there'll be some things happening.
So again, when you talk about things happening, as we all know, a lot of things happen. There are going to be some changes to the roster. We know that people are going to get cut, brought back on, practice squad, all that stuff. Again, there's some positions that I think, in my opinion, are harder than others. I think cornerback is going to be a pretty tough position because of the talent that we have there. Running back, I don't think it's going to be hard. I wish it was harder because I really like Tyler Beatty, but I don't think he's winning. I even think he's behind Justice Hill, to be honest, which that's disappointing for me personally. And then again, I think there'll be some tougher calls with safety. Don't know if Tony Jefferson's going to make it, to be honest. And I don't think he knew if he was going to make it either, based on his press conference after the last game. So just because there's so much talent there, what do you do? Hopefully they can figure it out, but it's going to be tough. So,
It's always a good problem to have very talented people in each department. How concerned are you with the running back department if you don't know if they're ready on week 1, JK and Edwards?
Right. Well, Gus won't be ready. He's out till week 4. He won't be ready before week 4.
Okay, well, so that's new news to me. Week 4, I knew that he was going to come back in the early part of the season, but week 4, the Gus the Bus is coming back. Let's go, Gus the Bus. Let's go.
Because of his designation, and JK, we have. If JK can go, I look at it right now. It'd be great. I'll be excited. He had a good practice today. If not, we've got the guys that'll play, so we're good either way.
Coach, Darren Williams is limited, but he led the NFL at 19.5 yards per punt return. Is he an option back there for you guys? A young guy like that?
He is, but we're pretty. The other guy that you guys might have forgotten about, you haven't seen in a couple of weeks, led the league last year in punt returns. So I feel really confident about that position. We have 3 excellent returners. You put James Prochet in there with Devin as well, Duvernay. So.
Friday, I think.
So, y'all know me. I call our reporters on questions that I don't like. So I don't like that question. I think that question is crazy because it's trying to, like John said, dog, we have the number 1 guy back there. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's, what are we talking about? We have the number 1 guy back there. Let's stop asking questions like that. Duvernay did a great job last season. I think he's going to do a great job this season. And I think he's an awesome player because he provides that versatility where he could play special teams at a high level, but also I think he could be a number 3 receiving, a deep threat also. So I'm excited to see that.
Was the team announced Ronnie Stanley to pass his physical? We didn't see him out. I don't know. Was he out here or is it?
Yeah, he didn't come out today. We're looking for maybe tomorrow. They have a plan in there, and they're kind of working him back in. So when he's out there, an individual will start coaching him.
Joe, the preseason is complete, and it's the first time since you've been here that your starters played little, if not. Has that affected your feel for preparation? Does it feel different to you to go in with that?
Well, it feels different, sure.
So before he answers this, sorry, I'm gonna jump in. Y'all know I'm a fan of not playing your starters in the preseason. It's not worth it. Look at what happened to our rivals, the Steelers. TJ Watt, they said if it was a regular season game, he could come back. But why is TJ Watt out there in the preseason game? Defensive player of the year. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be seriously upset. And I think we've done a great job this offseason of not getting injured. So shout out to John for changing it up. And I think it's working out. So.
Mark, we've never done it before here. We've always played our guys. We haven't played them as much as like Andy and Coach Belichick does, but we played them more in that world. We've been more in that world in the past. We played our guys to some degree. So this is the first time we haven't played the starters really, at all, except for the guys that were younger. We felt needed it. So, yeah, we'll find out.
John,
new.
did you get any more definitive word on Kevon Seymour? I know you said you wanted additional tests.
We did. He has an ankle sprain, so that's good news. It's not going to be like a week. It could be a few weeks. But we'll have him sometime early in the season.
So they say good news, right? But this is a perfect example, right? Let's say Seymour it was Marcus Peters, right? Let's say it was Marlon Humphrey, right? Not worth it. And to even think about it, to me, right? To even think to myself, I think Marlon Humphrey should get some work out there. It's just asinine to me. Like Stephen A. Smith says, asinine, that's a 10, that's an 11, that's 1,000. So it's crazy. Why would you even do that?
Idea of not the starters out there very much. Should we then read anything into the running game? They just through 3 games didn't have a lot of yards per carry, a lot of big runs there. Is that a concern? Or is it those weren't the guys that are going to be out there?
No,
read into it.
That's not a concern at all. You work on things you want to work on. You're watching the things that you want to see. We practice our run game every single day, and we'll expect to go out there and execute it very well.
John, in terms of the starters not playing in the preseason, do you in return feel like you have to do anything extra in practice to kind of make up for that, I guess, the time that they didn't get into actual games?
Well, we've been practicing. Those guys have been practicing all the way through camp, and we've had our padded days, and we've had our non-padded fast days and all those kind of things. So they've been in practice. They've been practicing. So no, this is a short answer. Just continue to practice the way we have been.
John,
Again, there's a misconception going on, it seems, with the reporters that I want to call out. It's weird that when you don't play your starters in the preseason, everyone keeps on asking about the preseason, but everyone in the league knows that it doesn't matter. Everyone in the league knows that you're not even calling plays you would call in real game scenarios. You're literally only calling your base package. So it's literally just, does this quarterback look good throwing the ball, right? Is this receiver faster than everyone else in the, field? Does the receiver and quarterback, are they in sync? All these things you can do in practice. And again, practice is the most important part. So we got to stop, talking about the preseason. Use the preseason for young guys. Use the preseason for guys who will be on the bottom side of your depth chart. And use the preseason to give guys who won't make your team a chance to impress other people. That's what I think the preseason should be used for. But y'all don't care what I think. So
Ben Powers did not play on Saturday. I'm sure it was part of the plan to get some of the more established veterans. Does it say anything about where you are at the left guard, or would you say that's still a consideration about who's going to start there?
Well, probably the point now, Jeff, where we're just not going to talk about that. We have our plans, but there's no strategic value in announcing them.
An outside linebacker, obviously, the unfortunate injury of Harbaugh on the shelf right now. Do you see position flexibility with some of your rush linebackers, the more traditional rush guys that you see, so they can also play same linebacker with the versatility there?
Well, those guys are outside backers, Ryan, so sure, they can play Sam or rush, if you want to call it that, when we go into our base or what we call our Raven package. They can play either side.
Now, one guy we haven't asked you about is Ardarius Washington. I mean, he was on the team last year. We know he had the foot injury and it was a long time back to that. But how has he looked the last couple of weeks? And as far as where he stacks up trying to compete for a roster?
Yeah, he's in the mix. We'll see. He's looked good. You've watched him, right? You've seen he's made plays. The thing about him, he's a tough football player. He's got a great nose for the ball, to use the cliche, and he plays good football out there. Now he also made a few mistakes because he hadn't played for a while, wasn't always in the right spot. He knows that, but he'll clean that up. I think he's done a good job. He's put himself in consideration.
And and that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about players that put themselves in consideration. So, nothing, no big revelations there.
I think there's a chance, but I wouldn't comment on what the number is for strategic reasons. It's in season now. It's all been fun and games up until this point. It's game on now.
How weird is the feel just to have these full on 2 weeks till we get to week 1? You get done the last preseason game, and it's just extended out so far.
Feels great. It feels great. We like it. I'm a fan of it. I want to just kind of work on some things this week, give the guys a break over the weekend, a chance to catch their breath, and come back for game week next week.
So this is something I think we should talk about. This is, I think, a big deal. So if you guys notice that between the last preseason game and the first game of the regular season, there's a week in between there. That week is different. It hasn't been like that for most of NFL history, right? So I think that's going to be a great opportunity. You basically have 2 weeks to prepare for your week one opponent. And the Ravens have a great record against week one opponents, specifically John Harbaugh. He has great records against week one opponents and against bye week opponents. So I feel sorry for the Jets because they're about to get smacked. I'm just going to say what it is, and it's going to be violent out there against the Jets. So we'll see, but I think the Ravens got this one.
All your work on your roster, how much attention is been put into preparing for the Jets at this point?
Well, we've been preparing for the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots and the Bills and the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns, I would say. We sprinkle all that stuff in throughout camp and the offseason. That's part of what we do. But it hasn't been focused per se. So now we start turning toward the Jets and the first 4 games, but mainly the Jets.
So again, that was some honesty there, right? We usually don't hear coaches say things like that. They usually say we focus on the next game, but it's good to know that that to look behind the curtain and that we have concepts in there that are going to be useful for all those teams. Because again, remember, the way the teams built their roster, they are trying to win as many games in the regular season as possible. They're not just building their roster to be as good as they can be. So let me give you an example, right? If you look around the AFC North, you're going to start seeing teams get these linebackers that might be smaller and faster because they can keep up with Lamar. You definitely already see in our division, there are just defensive ends that are just lightning quick, right? Lightning quick. Think people like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett that weren't there originally to stop Lamar, but that you have them and they can do that. Stuff like that. You always build your team to win your conference first your division first, because you know that your division automatically gets you into the playoffs if you win it. So you build to win your division, and then you build to win your conference, and then hopefully that's good enough for you to win the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, only 9 plays, which, probably the right thing to do, but good. He looked good, handled it well. Some things with cadence and things like that, that was good that we got him out there so he has a feel for it before he goes in. We're going to be in a very hostile environment. It's not going to be anything like what we had at home in a preseason game. It's going to be September 11th, 9/11 in New York. And, God bless all the first responders and all the brave souls from 9/11. I was in my office getting ready to play. We ended up playing the Seahawks the next week out there. I think we're getting ready to play the Giants. You can go back and check the Eagles' schedule on that to make sure. And one of our Carol Cullen comes in, who was Andy's administrative assistant. She says, turn the TV on. Turn the TV on. There's a hole in one of the buildings, right? What happened? Plane flew in. I'm thinking a little plane flew in there, right? You know what I mean? And I'm watching it, and just as I'm watching it, the second plane flies into the other tower, And then you knew the world had changed. You didn't know what you knew, but you went like, this isn't normal, I bet everybody here can say where they were when that happened, right? So to be playing in New York on 9/11 is going to be quite an honor.
John, on Friday.
So you guys know that John Harbaugh is going to be ready. How much he values the troops, how much he values national security, how much he values all that stuff. He is going to be ready to make sure his team has the best performance because he views it as an honor. The same way that a lot of teams view playing on Thanksgiving as an honor, right? We know, for example, you would have to kill Jerry Jones for the Cowboys not to play on Thanksgiving. You would have to kill him, right? Because he views it as that much of an honor that his team, which he calls America's team, which not just him, but the country calls America's team, gets to play on that day, right? So I think John Harbaugh views this as the same opportunity where, you play well and you give it everything you have because it's an honor to play on that day. So I'm excited to see how the team really gasses up and gets going because I think it'll be super cool.
You guys officially put Bowser on the reserve PUP. We know that takes him out for the first 4 weeks. But do you still feel good about where he is in his rehab? I mean, he got injured at the end of last year, but do you feel like it'll be on the earlier end of when he'll be ready to go?
I feel really good about his rehab. I've seen him rehab. I've seen him move. I've seen how strong he looks. He looks really good. Part of that is how the player feels. Just being straight as I can be with it. He's got to feel right. And so we're not going to put a player out there until he feels right, he's confident, and all that kind of thing. So, but as far as all the measurables, he looks really good. And I'm confident that when he comes back, he's going to have a great year.
John, you and Eric.
Again, the Ravens do it in the best way you can do it. You don't want to put a player out there who's not 100% because then if he gets hurt again, it's on you. And, some teams don't care, right? That's the truth. Some teams, they do not care. We know what the owners are like, some of these owners in this league. I think we have a good one, but some of them, we know what they're like. We know some of the coaches are like in this league. They don't care. They want to win, and they'll throw you out there regardless. So shout out to John, shout out to the Ravens for making sure you have a protect the players policy and don't let them go until they're right.
Talk about the culture that you guys built here. Does that extend to, talking to some of these best veterans that you kind of work into part of that plan of bringing back even if you don't have them on that initial 53?
You're going for a little draft strategy there. You're going to get out, into Eric's head a little bit, which I appreciate, Jonas. That's good. But I would say, yes, it does. I mean, it does. And that's guys want to be here. So, if you can work some of the things you're talking about out, that's you try to do that.
John, we know players want to get to the season as fast as possible, especially in preseason and training camp. Is it the same way as a coach? Are you ready to just get to the real game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's time. It's you get about going into this last game, you start getting a little itchy. It's time to go.
And we all know, the later you get into preseason, you're over it, right? I know for a lot of people, don't lie, guys. I know y'all didn't watch all the preseason game 3. I know it. I did, but I know you guys didn't. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. But again, it's football time now, so I'm excited for the September 11th, and let's get this game going. It's just talking about, y'all know Poe got injured. See, y'all didn't watch the whole game. Y'all left at halftime. Y'all didn't hear about Poe. It's okay. It's all right. Preseason, it's fine. Poe got injured. I don't know if the guy in the mascot outfit really did get injured or if it was a joke. I'm pretty sure it was a joke, but hey, but they're just joking about that. So again, pretty cool, pretty fine. I'm gonna give it an all pro. I think the biggest news we got is that we got a firm date of when we need to expect Gus Edwards back. So that'd be good. Other injury news, we knew Ronnie was going to, be working back. He's going to try, but I don't know if he'll be ready. But thankfully, I don't think he'll need him against the Jets. Just saying. So let me know, guys, about this in the comments below. What are your big takeaways from this? And let me know if you like the new format. I'm just trying to switch it up for you guys. Go Ravens.